Let me ask you something real. What does the top of your mountain look like? Not the highlight reel version, not what the world expects, but your version, your success, your freedom, your life fully lived. Too often we're climbing without clarity, busy but not fulfilled, chasing but not arriving, focused on more without ever asking what enough actually looks like. This series is about that moment when you finally pause, look around and realize, I made it, I'm here, but I'm not done. Because getting to the top is only part of the story. There's a journey behind you, full of sacrifices, setbacks, and lessons, and there's a future in front of you, one that demands vision, discipline, and belief. So across these next few moments, we're going to explore what it really means to live at the top, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We'll ask, who did you have to become? What did you overcome? Who walked with you? And what comes next? Because the top of the mountain isn't the end. It's the proving ground for what you're capable of next. Let's go. Let's talk about the climb, not the finish line, not the money, not the title, not the photo at the summit, but the climb, the journey that nobody claps for, the part most people never see. Because here's the truth. No one arrives at the top of the mountain by accident. You don't wake up one day and find yourself successful, disciplined, fulfilled, or free. You climb for it, and that climb changes you. The real question isn't just, what did you achieve? It's, who did you have to become? Because the version of you that started this journey, they weren't strong enough yet. They weren't focused enough yet. They weren't clear enough yet. That version of you had potential, but not power. Dreams, but not direction. Ambition, but no armor. So to make this climb, you had to change. You had to shed the version of yourself that needed comfort, distraction, and quick wins. You had to let go of habits that felt good in the moment, but cost too much in the long run. You had to say no to things that everyone else was saying yes to. Late nights, easy money, loud opinions, short-term praise, because growth doesn't come without sacrifice. And sacrifice doesn't come without pain. There were moments where you questioned if this was even worth it, when progress was slow, when no one noticed, when you gave everything and still didn't feel like it was enough, but you kept climbing. You got up earlier, you made decisions with the long term in mind, you replaced old excuses with new standards, you stopped needing motivation and built discipline instead. And most importantly, you stopped chasing the version of success someone else told you to want and started chasing what you were actually called to build. That's the moment everything shifted. That's when the climb became real, because success isn't just a goal you reach, it's a level you become. You became the person who finishes what they start, who shows up when it's hard, who is driven by purpose, not praise. You became someone who carries vision, not baggage, conviction, not chaos, clarity, not comparison. This is the climb that no one else can do for you. And now that you're here, now that you can look back and see the path you've walked, you realize this isn't just a win, it's a transformation. So before we move forward, before we plan for what's next, stop and honor who you had to become to even get to this point. This is your reminder. You didn't just make it to the top, you became someone who belongs here. You're standing at the top of the mountain now, and before you rush to the next goal, the next level, the next version of more, you need to take a moment to stop, to breathe, and to look around. Because this view, you earned it. The long nights, the sacrifices, the inner battles, the quiet decisions that no one else saw, they brought you here. And when you're in the middle of the climb, it's easy to forget how far you've come. You're so focused on the next step, the next problem, the next move, that you forget to turn around and see the distance you've covered. So do that now. Look back, look at what you've overcome, the patterns you broke, the habits you replaced, the emotional resilience you built. Look at the financial progress, even if it started small, the savings, the strategy, the mindset shift, the debt you paid off, the assets you now own, the stability you never had before. Look at your relationships, the ones you healed, the boundaries you finally set, the moments of laughter, of presence, of genuine connection that you made space for. And look at you. Look at how you speak now, how you carry yourself. Look at the way you think, the way you respond, the way you lead. You're not the same person who started, and that's the point. This is what success actually looks like. Not loud, not flashy, but quiet confidence. A calm knowing that you've done the work, and it shows. It's in how you make decisions now, how you honor your time, how you walk into a room and no longer shrink. It's in how you handle problems, not with panic, but with process, not with fear, but with clarity. But here's what matters most. Don't downplay this. Don't brush it off. Don't call it no big deal. Because when you don't honor your wins, you start to believe you're still at the bottom, even when you've already climbed. And when that happens, you burn out. You stop seeing progress. You stay stuck in grind mode forever, chasing a finish line that keeps moving. So take this moment to recognize what's real. You made it. You made moves. You made decisions that your past self wouldn't have dared to. And no, it's not the end, but it's a checkpoint. And you need to honor it before you move on. You've built something. And now you have something to protect, something to grow, something to expand. That's what the view is for. Not just to admire the progress, but to gain perspective, to see just how far you've come, and to remember why you'll keep going. You're not done, but you're no longer who you were. And that matters. No one gets to the top of the mountain alone. It might have felt like a solo climb at times, like you were carrying the full weight of the journey on your back. But if you really look closely, you'll see the footprints beside yours. The people who supported you, challenged you, held you accountable. The ones who saw your potential when you were stuck in survival. Every great achievement is built on two things: personal responsibility and powerful relationships. So pause and ask yourself, who helped you get here? It could be the obvious names, mentors, coaches, partners, family, or the quiet ones. The friend who checked in at the right time, the colleague who backed you when no one else would, the stranger who said something that changed your perspective forever. Maybe it was a team, maybe it was a community, maybe it was just one person, but they mattered. And here's the thing about the top, it's quieter up here. Not because it's lonely, but because fewer people have the capacity to climb this high with you. Which is why the people who did make the climb with you, they're worth everything. They saw you when you were inconsistent, uncertain, even unrecognizable much, and still chose to walk with you. That's not something you forget. You might have done the work, but someone helped you carry the belief. And in the moments you were tempted to turn back, they reminded you why you started. And if no one was physically walking beside you, maybe it was the words of someone who came before you. Maybe it was the legacy you wanted to honor, the family you wanted to change things for. The future you knew had to look different. That's part of your team too. The people who gave you courage without even knowing it. And now that you're here with this view and this progress and this power, don't forget to look around and acknowledge the team that helped you build it. Because success isn't just about what you did. It's about who you became and who helped you become it. So ask yourself, who do I need to thank? Who do I want to celebrate this with? And who do I need to bring with me on the next climb? Because the top is better when it's shared. The view is richer when you're not standing there alone. So honor the team. Give thanks for the shoulders you stood on. And remember, the next level still requires community. The climb continues, but you're stronger because of who climbed with you. So you've made it. You climbed, you sacrificed, you became someone stronger, wiser, more focused. You reached a level that once felt impossible. But here's the truth no one talks about. The summit isn't the finish line. Reaching the top doesn't mean the journey is over. It means you've proven what you're capable of. Now it's time to ask, what's next? Because the most dangerous moment in success isn't the climb. It's what happens after. It's the comfort that sneaks in when things get good. It's the complacency that whispers, you've done enough. It's the temptation to stop growing because you're no longer desperate to survive. But the mountain was never the goal. Becoming the person who could climb it and keep climbing was. So ask yourself, what's the next peak? What vision scares you again? What version of you still needs unlocking? Maybe it's expanding what you've already built. Maybe it's teaching others how to climb. Maybe it's turning your personal wins into generational wealth, or restoring relationships that got left behind on the way up, or deepening your spiritual growth, or building something that lasts beyond your lifetime. Success isn't just about arrival, it's about stewardship. What are you doing with the view you've earned? What will you build now that you've proved you can? Because the truth is, staying at the top takes more intention than getting there. And the next level of your life will require a new level of you. So don't settle. Don't soften your hunger just because the world sees you as finished. You are not finished. There's another peak, a higher purpose, a deeper fulfillment, a bigger impact. But you don't climb this one for validation. You don't climb it to prove anything. You climb it because growth is who you are now. Because climbing is no longer punishment, it's privilege. Because legacy is more important than applause. So here's your final reflection. This is not the end of your journey. This is just a marker that says you're capable, you're trusted, you're ready for more. The mountain you're standing on today was once out of reach. Now it's your launch pad. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Let's go.